From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Carolina Week. I'm Andrea Blanford.
And I'm Chris Neal. Thanks for joining us. During the next half hour, we'll take a look back at some of the most memorable moments this semester here at Carolina. Some Orange County residents are concerned about a nearby animal research facility and leaks surrounding the property. Carly Stevenson has the story.
They used to have the trees.
This isn't the first time Cliff Leith has been surprised about what's going on in his backyard. Last year, Leith and his neighbors formed PRO, Preserve Rural Orange, after Chapel Hill officials wanted to build an airport near their neighborhood. This year, PRO has been in contact with UNC about the expansion and leakage problems at the Bingham facility. Leith lives next to the Animal Testing and Research Center. Machinery there automatically sprays treated wastewater on the ground to keep the holding pools from overflowing. Since November, there have been 4 incidents of leaks and spills. Leith says it took a long time for UNC to let the neighbors know what was going on.
Good. They didn't tell us anything really. Everything that we found out, we had to find out on our own. They're being a lot more forthcoming now than they were to start with.
According to UNC, the wastewater is highly treated and not harmful to the environment. But the North Carolina Department of the Environment has reported 4 violations in recent months because the water was leaked instead of sprayed. Recently, UNC held 2 town meetings and sent letters to residents explaining the spills. Leith is also concerned about a possible $15 million expansion that may mean more holding pools. Assistant Vice Chancellor Dwayne Pinckney says there are no definite plans to add pools.
So I am speculating somewhat here, but I would think that we would not likely pursue additional holding ponds at the site.
Leith wants UNC to be more upfront about its plans.
The things that a good neighbor would do, like share information of if you have construction going on next door, you tell your neighbor what's going on, and so that they're not concerned. No, they didn't do anything like that initially.
Pinckney says the university has been transparent.
Every thing that happens out there, we report to not only to Diener but also to those neighbors who are concerned.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Carly Stevenson, Carolina Week.
Officials shut down the wastewater treatment system in late February, and OWASA officials are now treating the wastewater at their facilities until further notice.
The death penalty. It's controversial on many fronts, and now it's under even more scrutiny during this economic downturn. More than 160 people sit on death row right now in North Carolina, and the costs continue to add up.
For UNC sophomore Katie Varner, the death penalty is personal. Her cousin is sitting on death row in a Florida prison.
He made some mistakes and everything, but he's still a person and he's still my cousin, and he still deserves the right to live.
Varner and other UNC students join advocates in a weekly vigil held outside Raleigh's Central Prison, protesting the use of the death penalty. Vigil leader Scott Bass and his wife Roberta run Raleigh's Nazareth House, a portion of their home converted to serving the families of death row inmates while they visit their loved ones at the prison just 3 miles away. Bass says capital punishment rarely brings relief to the victims' families.
They're more useful to the prosecution if the victims are more angry and more raw still. That's not healing.
And that's not all. In a recent study, 57% of police chiefs said the death penalty was an ineffective crime-fighting tool, while only 39% said it deterred criminal behavior. UNC law professor Richard Rosen says dropping the appeals would save money and lawyer fees, but that could be at the expense of an innocent life.
If you want to speed it up, then you have got to understand that we're more likely to execute the wrong people.
Rosen says North Carolina is ahead of the national curve on fair capital trials with the enactment of the Racial Justice Act just last year. But Bass says the public still needs to realize the magnitude of these cases.
If the state is going to kill people on our behalf, we at least ought to insist they do it for a darn good reason.
Varner says she's motivated by her cousin's story, and her group's work is helping to raise death penalty awareness.
People honk their horns and they see us and they know we're here, and you know, just to know that folks still care about it, I think is a big deal.
North Carolina's death penalty is currently on hold while officials review the ethical use of lethal injections. The last execution carried out in North Carolina was in 2006.
PhD candidates work hard conducting academic research, and now some of them are taking their work beyond the classrooms and into labs, turning it into entrepreneurial success. Julia Roche has more.
As a PhD candidate in molecular pharmaceutics, Michael Hackett solves problems every day, and he's helped find a solution to a problem that affects millions of Americans. He discovered a way to make current cancer drugs safer and more effective, and turned this idea into a business opportunity called Novolipid.
So what we do is we can take anti-cancer drugs and we'll chemically modify them with a special lipid that we designed. And that's where the name of the company comes from, Novolipid.
So what does Novolipid's technology mean for cancer patients?
We can make the drugs safer, we can make them less toxic, so you may have to go in for chemo less often, and hopefully you'll have a higher chance of coming out disease-free.
Hackett had a major discovery on his hands, but he needed the right element to take this idea to the next level.
Either we can do it here, or I can get the cell line, culture it. Actually, my lab is moving, by the way. My boss is taking. Yeah.
Then as TTR come along, then we don't have any problem.
So I'm also.
Both would agree their working relationship has been nothing short of a positive reaction.
It's been great. I mean, I think we have a great working relationship. He does the science, and which I know a little about, and I know what the technology does and what it's capable of doing. But the division of labor is great.
Together, Hackett and Gopalakrishna incorporated Novolipid and developed a business plan.
Everybody, I think they give that out. It's nice to make money and everything for the company, but really the whole goal of the company is to increase the quality of life for cancer patients.
As they finish their PhDs, they know they'll have something extra special to take away from their time at Carolina. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julia LaRoche, Carolina Week.
Gopalakrishna and Hackett will complete their PhDs this year, and both plan to continue work with Novolipid.
Coming up, more of the top stories of this semester
when this special edition of Carolina Week continues.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Mom.
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Genetic testing creates new choices for people at high risk for breast cancer. Health reporter Ann Johnson examines the emotional side of having a breast surgically removed before you even get cancer.
2 years ago, Sanford resident Jane Johnson learned she had a genetic mutation that increased her risk for breast cancer. She had both breasts surgically removed, a tough decision for any woman, especially before she even has a diagnosis of cancer.
Intellectually, it's an easy decision, and emotionally, it's a very difficult decision. It's very hard. It's really kind of a real part of who you are as a woman.
And she's a woman living with a much lower risk for cancer, thanks to surgery like the kind you see here. Surgeon Keith Amos removed Johnson's breasts last year.
I would say for prevention purposes, we do easily 30 or 40 operations per year for prevention.
Many women who have preventive surgery opt for breast reconstruction. Dr. Eric Halverson reconstructed Johnson's breasts while she was still in the operating room.
I think they need that reassurance that reconstruction is an option, that they will have good results.
Johnson also got reassurance from counseling to deal with the emotional pain of losing her natural breasts. Expressing herself through painting and writing helped.
For how can you save the sensation of touch when the nerves are gone? How will I be able to feel the hug of a friend, the hug of a child, the hug of you?
Johnson is thankful for her time with her husband, her 3 children, and 5 grandchildren, people she hopes to still be able to hug for years to come.
See you later.
In Sanford, I'm Ann Johnson, Carolina Week.
Because of her genetic mutation, Johnson faced an 85% chance of getting breast cancer. For most women in America, the chance is about 13%.
The CDC estimates more than 13,000 North Carolinians were living with HIV in 2007. Health reporter Lisa Marie Albert says the proposed state budget sets aside $14 million for ADAP, the AIDS Drug Assistance Program, to help allow low-income residents to pay for HIV medications.
That's good news for people like Richard Cassidy of Winston-Salem, because expensive HIV medications helped save his life.
At one point, cancer was all over my face. It had consumed my left lung, my heart, and that was due to not being able to get the HIV medications.
As Cassidy's cancer got worse in 2006, he said his medical treatments cost $1.5 million in a period of 6 months. But medications can help control HIV, says UNC Dr. Peter Leone, who directs the state's efforts against the spread of the virus.
We can turn now HIV into a chronic, lifelong disease. We know that people live 20, 30 years, if not longer, if their virus is well controlled with the medication.
This is no longer a death sentence. It is something that you can live with, hopefully return back to work, and to have a productive life.
It's cheaper to treat HIV patients with medications early in their disease rather than wait for complications leading to costly hospitalizations later.
And by benefiting them, we benefit the society as well. These are folks who can stay healthy, stay out of the hospital, so we reduce medical costs. They also stay productive, tax-paying citizens.
Now that Cassidy's regained his health, he's hoping to return to work. He shares about his recovery through a poem he wrote.
Broken, beaten, and still singing, standing on the faith of the lover of my soul, hallelujah rings.
Cassidy can say hallelujah because he now takes only 6 pills a day. Some people with HIV can get by with only 1 pill a day. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lisa Marie Albert, Carolina Week.
If the state legislature approves the additional funding, ADAP can open enrollment again, which is good news for the 400 people on the waiting list.
Nearly 42% of unmarried parents are separated by their children's first birthdays. After seeing the background in couples and family therapy, a UNC School of Social Work professor started a program to help bring this number down. Julianne McKellogg has more.
If this world were mine.
When I met him, he was singing
at your feet. Yeah, we've never had a problem as far as music went.
You can define Calvin and Rashida Burton's 11-year relationship by their music and their 6 children.
She sings, I sing, our children are singing.
But the Burtons' communication skills as a couple haven't always been as harmonious as their music.
That really was the worst problem.
But their relationship hit a high note when they enrolled in a program called Strong Couples, Strong Children.
It actually taught us how to deal with each other, but we take the skills that we've learned and apply it to the kids.
Strong Couples, Strong Children founder Ann Jones started the program 4 years ago to help unmarried couples tackle the transition into parenthood.
Those little bundles of joy that we all look forward to can also be very challenging for couples.
The program teaches participants relationship skills and family care and has a special component just for fathers. Jones says many other couples share Calvin's and Rashida's experience with the program.
By the time they come out, people are saying things like, wow, you know, we just feel a lot closer.
We still continually learn. We still have to fall back on what we've learned. it's a process, but I think we're 100% better.
Nearly a year and a half later, the Burtons continue to be advocates for the program and are singing the praises of their involvement in it. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julianne McKellogg, Carolina Week.
This program was so successful for the Burtons that they decided to marry and won the 2009 Parents of the Year Award. The program is a collaborative effort involving the Durham County Health Department and the Cooperative Extension. Each county in North Carolina has these two programs and could adopt it.
Minorities have played an important role at Carolina dating back to the beginning of the university. Perrine DeShield has the story of one of the university's first minority graduates.
Karen Parker never did blend in.
When I came here, my mother told me I needed to behave for the black students who would come after me.
As the first black female to graduate from UNC, Parker experienced a fair share of racism and discrimination. Parker transferred from UNC Greensboro in 1963 to UNC Chapel Hill, a place where she became a double minority.
They started yelling at me. What they were saying was racial, and what they were saying was sexual.
CABJ President Ayanna Allen said it was essential to have Parker speak on issues still relevant to students today.
And I hope they gained a history lesson of where we came from. And that's not just the black community, that's just the campus community, that's, you know, the world globally.
Parker found refuge in the place where she laid her head every night.
Karen Parker made long-lasting friendships while she stayed here in Cobb Residence Hall and also used it as a safe haven and place to collect her thoughts.
A friend encouraged Parker to write a journal during her time at UNC. She donated the journal to Wilson Library in 2001, and page after page reads of monumental events. I went to jail again December 19th and spent the night. I was released the next day in time to go home for Christmas. Christmas vacation wasn't too good because of this. But a sweet surprise came out of Parker's Carolina experience. She still reunites with old hallmates from Cobb to this day, writes for the Winston-Salem Journal, and remains an advocate for activism and professionalism. Some people never change. In Chapel Hill, I'm Perrine DeShield, Carolina Week.
Parker says she believes UNC is taking the right steps toward increasing diversity on UNC's campus. There was definitely a multicultural flair to Carolina Week this semester.
That's right, there sure was, Chris. Coming up after the break, we'll show you some of those stories.
I present to you Algebra 2, Foreign Languages, and finally, Biology. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Me.
Yeah, I'll do it. Me too. Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblums, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit americansforthearts.org.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. No hay nada para un pobre conejo asustado, a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
¡Fuego!
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Rachel. She's cool.
Hey. Hey, could you watch the road?
Hey, could you watch the road?
Okay. All right, well, if we die in a car crash, I want to donate my eyes to my neighbor, Gary. He has a boat, and he sails all around the world. I would love to see that. I don't know if he actually needs eyes, but who would turn down a free pair of eyes, right? Who's that rich?
The coming of spring always has UNC students joining forces to celebrate a season of colors with other cultures. Elizabeth Lamb tells us more.
That's something you don't see in Fetzer Gym every day. Members of dozens of American Indian tribes packed the gym dressed in full regalia for the Carolina Indian Circle's 23rd annual powwow. Pawnee tribe member Josh Richardson calls the powwow a spiritual family reunion, a chance to pray and dance with family and friends. And for Richardson, dancing at powwows has been a way of life.
I've been dancing since I was, ever since I could walk. My mom always had me out there dancing since I could walk.
The tribes come from all along the East Coast and learn their moves from family members and also learn the art of crafting tribal items. They travel from powwow to powwow selling their goods.
Members of the Osage tribe have visited this powwow for more than 7 years, selling their handcrafted items like this shawl and handbag.
Booths also lined the gym for people interested in learning more about American Indian culture, like these sophomores Sarah Buisson and Michelle David. What drew them to the powwow?
I took this Native American class freshman year. We actually took it together. So yeah, that's why.
And while the public enjoyed the steady beat of the drum and the vivid costumes, Richardson says there's more to it than the obvious cultural celebration.
Most time when we dance, we might have somebody on our mind, like a friend or family member, that we want to pray for when we dance.
Next year, the powwow hopes to wow even more people. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Lamb, Carolina Week.
The powwow is an annual event at UNC, so be on the lookout for next spring's gathering.
You don't have to be related to someone famous to be successful in your field, but as Bethany Tuggle tells us, it can be an important part of the recipe. Take a look.
Annette Council, aka Sweet Niecy, is the creator and owner of Sweet Niecy cake mixes. From measuring to pouring to mixing and packaging, she does everything from the comfort of her own kitchen. Annette learned from the best. She's the daughter of Chapel Hill icon Mama Dip, and this is Niecy's way of keeping the family fame alive.
She has done great things in the community with her restaurant, and she's 81 years old now, and it's, the kids have to take over and keep this legacy continuing.
Annette can also thank her mom for the name of her new company.
Sweet Niecy is a nickname that I had when growing up as a young girl.
Although she admits she never really liked the nickname until she realized she could use it to make money.
I like that Sweet Niecy.
With her 3 mixes, you can get 100 recipes.
3 layer cakes, pound cakes, bundt cakes, sheet cakes, cupcakes.
All with a guaranteed made-at-home flavor you can prepare in just 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
That's right, 3 minutes. Then put it in the pan, pop it in the oven, and soon enough, your cake is ready. Just get yourself a plate, slice into the delicious dessert, and dig right in.
Preparing the mix is really a piece of cake, but this is definitely my favorite part. You have to try this.
And you can. The Sweet Niecy mixes are now on the shelves of many local stores, including Weaver Street Market, where Annette recently set up a sample table that was certainly a hit.
Wow, it's great. My favorite. Wow.
Your friends could have a similar reaction when you make it for them. Just don't forget the most important step.
Forget about the blender, because that's where the true love come in baking is. You got to put your hands in it.
With such a quick and easy process, I guess you could say you get to have your cake and eat it too. In Chapel Hill, I'm Bethany Tuggle, Carolina Week.
Niecy still works most days at her mom's restaurant while she continues to get her own business more established. Coming up, the coach who chases birdies on and off the green and other sports highlights from this semester.
When Carolina Week returns.
In the event of a car crash, 3 out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
So, April.
Yeah?
You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger.
I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
The UNC football and basketball programs have no trouble attracting premier recruits, but what about wrestling? Gabe Hyatt tells us more.
Ziad Haddad is a heavyweight with a weighty reputation. His time in the weight room will help him defend it. In 2008, Haddad won a high school national championship and became a prized recruit. He spurned offers from powerhouse programs like Michigan and Oklahoma State to sign with Coach C.D. Mock at UNC.
What drew me here was Coach Mock, and he achieved the goal that I want to achieve, and I felt that he was the best coach that was going to help me achieve that goal.
The goal is a NCAA championship. Coach Mock earned one for UNC in 1982. Now he drills his athletes in this old gym, hoping they'll follow his example. Mock's vision has his athletes fighting to improve. His success as a recruiter and a coach gets wrestling alumni to help the program.
In 1982, Coach Mock became an NCAA champion by practicing in this very gym. Now he hopes to build a succession of champions with the help of his alumni, who have raised over $2 million to create a state-of-the-art facility right here by adding another story to the gym.
The facility will help Mock in his search for a talented wrestler with the integrity and toughness to fight through adversity.
All I want him to do is commit to come for a visit. That's all I want, because if I can get him here, if I can get him on our campus, we got a real good closing ratio. This place sells itself.
Haddad bought the pitch, but he's not a recruit anymore. After redshirting his first year and missing last semester because of academic ineligibility, Haddad is ready to represent his school and set an example for future recruits. In Chapel Hill, I'm Gabe Hyatt, Carolina Week.
Haddad finished second in the ACC championships and earned a spot on the All-ACC wrestling team.
You might wonder what our golf coach does when he's not coaching, and sometimes when he is coaching. Reporter Nick King has the answer.
John Inman has spent his life chasing birdies. As a national champion in college, as a two-time tournament winner on the PGA Tour, and now as the men's golf coach at UNC. Birdies is more than a golf term to him.
I like to watch birds. It's something that I've always been aware of and I've always liked to do, and it's just, interesting, and, it's one of those weird things.
A self-described birder, Inman keeps an eye on his players' golf balls, but that's not all.
I was about to hit my second shot and there was a hawk, so he decided to be so infatuated with the hawk that he didn't watch me the rest of the round.
Inman won't go to a tournament without his binoculars. On the rare chance he's forgotten them, he's gone out and bought a new pair. Couldn't miss a possible red-tailed flicker sighting. Inman's players even bought a bird book for him this year for Christmas.
One time on a tee, a young man asked me, how far it was. And I was looking at a bird, and he was like, oh no, coach is looking at a bird and again.
They laugh, but Inman really loves it.
There's a hawk on the ground over there too. Raptors are my favorite, the hawks. See the smaller bird?
While the players might chuckle at the sound of a woodpecker, they're following their coach's example on the course, just chasing birdies. In Chapel Hill, I'm Nick King, Carolina Week Sports.
The golf team placed 9th in the ACC tournament in April. The Heels are hoping for an improved showing next year. That does it for this special edition of Carolina Week, looking back at the best of the semester.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a great summer. Good night.